beings of light. Welcome to the Crone Zone Conversations with the Ancients. And today we are welcoming Miss Jean, Sun Psychic Jean. Thank you so much for being here with me and Heather. We always
It's
enjoy
my
visits with you.
it's my pleasure. Thank you. Thanks for inviting me. And it's going to be a wonderful show, and I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. So let's say hi to the chat. Juno, hi, sweetheart. How are you today? And Mousy and Teresa, welcome, 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 ladies. So happy to have you here. We're actually going to talk about an interesting subject today. We're going to talk about acceptance and what it is and what it isn't. Let's talk about what acceptance is.
Yeah. And everybody in the chat, if you want to, uh,
Comment,
communicate
please do.
and chime in and share with us, that's we want to encourage that. And what we want to do is talk a little bit about what acceptance of the present moment, acceptance of what is, and almost like that phrase, "It is what it is." And some people, it's oftentimes misunderstood. And what we want to do is sort of take away all of those things that we think it could have been or might be, and let some of the things that it's often confused with. Sometimes it's confused with being passive, and it's not being passive, but it's just
Or apathetic.
acknowledging or apathetic.
Yeah.
Yep. It's accepting what is actually in the now moment, what is actually in reality, just being fully integrated with what is actually happening at this now moment, or what actually is. It is what it is, and getting that sort of understanding, or just the full awareness of what is. So it's often confused with approval. Some people think, well, if I accept it, then that means I approve of it. That
I
is
think
could be
that's a huge one that people think it's approval, accepting is approval. You're right. And it's not. It's just allowing for whatever is to be. Whatever it is, just to be right then at the moment.
is is Heather frozen?
Heather's
She
Yeah,
was
frozen.
I am. I will be right back. I thought we had that figured out, but I will be
she's
right
fabulous. She was just smiling.
I know. I know.
Well, it caught you at a different point now, but she's
Yeah,
still there listening. This happens
I
quite
can hear
frequently.
and I can talk, but I can't with
I'm
the
just a
particular hands.
photo.
But I am going to go out and come back in. So you
Okay.
guys go right ahead.
Thank you,
Carry on.
Heather.
Thank you,
So
Heather.
it doesn't mean that we approve of the outcome or approve that it's the best thing that would happen. It's just that we recognize it is what it is, regardless.
Mhm.
Often it's misunderstood as being weakness. Some people think it's acceptance is a sign of weakness or defeat. In reality, acceptance requires strength and courage. It involves facing difficult truths and letting go of resistance. And that's the sweet spot. That's the sweet spot for me. Letting go of resistance, because resistance is what I feel causes that struggle. It causes that friction. It causes that immobility, that struggle, that resistance. And when we accept, it releases the resistance from what we might want it to be. Like, I don't accept that it's raining outside because I want it to be sunny. It's my birthday, or I'm going on a trip today. I want it to be sunny. And it's that resistance is let go, that you're letting go of what you think it should have been or the way it should be, and letting go of the resistance, and letting go of your expectations as well.
Responding.
Oh, okay. Well, that's right. And it's also getting rid of that. I'm pissed off because it's raining. There's no reason to
That's
be pissed off.
resistance.
It's just resistance. And whatever you want to, however you want to do it, it's still resistance. I'm pissed off that it's raining and my wedding's going to be ruined, blah, blah, blah. You don't need to go there. It's raining. So what can I do as an alternative?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
really that simple. Of course, there's many situations that aren't that simple.
And this is important because we're going to be facing certain things that are going to be not in not fluid with our own expectations. We're going to be facing, if you, how do I want to say that? They're going to be maybe not what we expect. They're going to be different than our expectations, and we're going to be like, that can't be possible. There's no way. And what the universe and its source and the divine energy wants to let us know that when we have acceptance, when we practice acceptance, this moves us through and allows us to entertain the possibilities of what to do next. It almost releases that resistance and puts in the next step of opportunities in our path. It really is in our best. It's in our highest good to follow this path of acceptance. And I know you all have heard the word and have talked the concept, talked about the concept. And my guides have been telling me this is a really important aspect to bring in at this time with the change in the frequency, human evolution, and all of the changes that we're going to be seeing that we can't believe our eyes. That will put us in
Yeah.
fear. That will put us in a state of immobility or uh, being paralyzed and not being able to process things or thoughts or ideas. And we want to be getting into the practice of acceptance. And whether it's acceptance that my eggs burned and when I was trying to cook them and they burned, and I don't really like burnt eggs. And it's just practicing this acceptance with our everyday comings and goings, so that when something does come up, we know, oh, that means I'm practicing my acceptance. And it doesn't mean it's weakness. It doesn't mean that you approve what's happening. It doesn't mean that happiness is going to come from it. It doesn't mean that you're being passive or sticking your head in the sand. It just means it's a process in our um, in our in the path in our
Our
on our
spiritual
growth.
growth.
Yep, on our growth. It's the process that allows us to move forward, move past, move through. And this is what they want us to practice. A lot of people hold on to things and they say, I had that car accident when I was in my 20s, and I'll never be safe in my car again. And that's being resistant
Very
to
resistant.
to the possibility of it being better or changing or that never happening again. So it's letting go of expectations. It's letting go of these fears and things that are all around the process of acceptance. So does anybody have any questions or any comments that they wanted to talk about what acceptance is not? Does any of that make sense to you?
Oh, yeah. I think people are agreeing with you and they are having, making comments to that.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. I thought I only starred one. I'm so sorry. And it was White Dragon and talking about dragons, but
Yeah, because we
they're all
found
pretty
out
much
how we got his
agreeing.
name.
Like Juno saying, be a hollow bone and let things flow. And where was
Yeah, and understanding the misconceptions, it can develop a nuanced view and allowing you to grasp the power more and be more effective in your own life. And so Lori says, yes, let's let go of struggle and flow. This is what they're wanting to teach us, to flow. Let go of the struggle, let go of the resistance, And if you think of acceptance is the opposite of resistance. So if you feel any resistance against a thought, what somebody does, what somebody says, it's a clue or a little hint for you to say, oh, now it's time
Stop.
to practice acceptance and then move forward. Say, it is what it is. They are who they are. And it's not that it's okay. It's just that I accept it. And now I'm moving through this and forward through this and allowing the next more information to come through. It almost, it puts us in that flow, and it makes us in a mobile state rather
It
than a
really does.
static state.
Um,
I just wanted to clarify that we're not sticking our head in the sand. We're not saying that we have to accept, or that, we have to say that what we are accepting is proper, is appropriate, is the right thing to do, or that it doesn't need to change. None of that is what acceptance is. Acceptance is almost like forgiveness is for us so that we can move forward. Acceptance is for us so that we can move forward. It's getting out of that stagnant state. And they really want us to.
I really like the way you compared that to forgiveness, because that's almost what it is. Once you just forgive the situation and go on. It doesn't have to be a human. It's just, oh, this kind of sucks. So I don't want to be here. So what can I do to move forward?
It's about our own energy. It's about our own perspective. It's about forgiving and letting go and moving forward and being okay with things that are not okay. It's almost like it's supposed to be this way for a reason. It's that trusting. It's that something else will happen. I will know what to do. I trust myself in any situation. I trust that no matter what catastrophes may be happening around me, that everything will come out I'm here for a reason. I'm experiencing this for a reason. There is a lesson that's coming through this. And the sooner we can accept what is, the sooner we can move through this towards a lesson and towards a solution or towards a new vibration. I feel as though they're preparing us, you guys. I'm just saying that there's a lot of evolution going on. There's a lot of like ramping up of jumping frequencies and things. There's going to be some things that are going to not be as smooth, and they're one is like usually when after 2 or 3 years we can get the acceptance, and they're letting us know like it's going to be 2 or 3 months. We need you to get that acceptance.
Yeah,
it's going to start happening
or more. I mean, or less.
Yes, I have noticed that different in time over the last couple of years, 3 or 4 years, I guess, that time just seems to be going faster. There's shorter periods between things. It's like
where it went.
It's like when I'm moving and changing my life completely, and it came in increments. But those increments were like bam, bam, bam. You got to do this. You got to do this. You got to do this, and it wasn't anything that was said to me. It was just little things that happened over time. But those time periods are definitely shortened, and you almost don't have time to breathe before something else is on the horizon. And in this year of election, it is going to get crazier. That's just the way it is during elections. And because of all the energies that are hitting the planet at the same time, it's going to be pure chaos for a while. And we just need to look at it and know it's okay. It's going to be fine.
And even if it doesn't look like chaos, we will feel the chaos because of all the different energies.
Yep, we'll be sensitive
Exactly.
and attuned to it.
Juno says sometimes things shift at a speed that feels like being catapulted. That's a nice way to put it, because I was saying that my move, it's because I feel like spirit has a boot up my butt.
Ejected.
So catapulted is perfect.
And this is what I'm feeling like. They want us to get this concept. They want us to become comfortable and familiar with it and be able to see it and move and process it so that we're not, they need us, the light workers and the high vibrational people, to stay light workers and high vibrational people. They can't have us collapse at every, turn that may
Doesn't
shake
feel
us
good.
up. Mhm.
Yeah.
So that when those ships land, we won't say,
What's an alien?
that can't be.
What's a gray? I can't
I'm
wait for the ships to land. I want one to land in my front yard.
On the top of the house.
It's all part of acceptance. So I have some lovely uplifting. I know that was a little, I just wanted to clear away what it was not. And if you would you mind popping up that,
I only
yeah,
have this one. Nothing else came through.
I know. I have the
Okay.
others. They're
Okay.
down here. See
Oh,
them?
got it. Yay.
Yep. So just we'll run through some of these. If I feel it's important to stop and discuss something, I will. But love is the ability and willingness to allow those that you care for to be what they choose for themselves without any insistence that they satisfy you. In other words, accept others for who they are, right?
Right.
And that's what,
Not who you
that's
want them
what
to
love
be,
is.
not who you think they are, but who they are, who they show you they are.
Mhm.
It's really hard as a parent.
Yes.
Just to let them be who they are. You want them.
Especially when they're opposite.
Yeah.
Understanding yourself is power. Loving yourself is freedom. Forgiving yourself is peace. Being yourself is bliss. Acceptance, acceptance. Being
Beautiful.
yourself is bliss. Being who you are and accepting yourself for who you are.
That's beautiful. I love that one.
I wash away any energy that is not mine to carry. I release myself from the burdens of the past. I nourish myself in blessed sacred light. I am restored. I am recharged. This is a cleansing mantra for practicing acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like the oath of uh, the things that I cannot change, and the wisdom to change the things I can, or something like that.
Yeah, that one. I know what
No,
you're
which
talking
ones
about.
can't. Yeah.
Mhm. And this one is, it is spiritual poverty, not material lack, that lies at the core of all human suffering. It's
Wow.
spiritual poverty, not material lack. The poverty comes in the spiritual sense. It is our awareness, it is our perception, it is what is in our heart. It is not what is in our bank account, it is not what is out in our driveway, it is not the dwelling that we live in. It is the spiritual abundance that we flourish in, and it's the material lack that causes the human to suffer.
Amen.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
right on.
Yeah, I know I'm preaching to the choir here, y'all. And this one says, when I talk about self-worth, it does not mean ego. Self-worth is about aligning yourself with the things that are right for you. Being aligned with your self-worth has to do with your ability to know yourself and your patterns so well that there is no room for you to betray yourself.
Wow. Powerful. That means not calling yourself an idiot when you drop something.
It really, I mean, and we all know that it's just a habit, but you know what?
Mhm.
Words matter. Words matter. The universe listens to everything we say. Words
Mhm.
matter. Well, even though we know that it's just that we really don't mean it, even though we know that it's just a saying, it
Mhm.
matters. It just, if you would just take the consideration to maybe see what happens if you would change saying that about yourself. Just consider what that might do for you.
Exactly.
So this is one that I've shown before, and it's one of my favorites. Repetitive complaining will attract things for you to complain about. Repetitive gratitude will attract things for you to be thankful about.
It's the law of it's one of the 12 universal laws.
Mm-hmm.
And I did a lot of complaining about a coworker of mine that was driving me absolutely nuts. And the longer I complained about her, the more she would cause things in my work environment for me to complain about. And then one day I realized that it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. She is here to teach me a lesson, and no matter how much everybody else sees what she's doing and is allowing this to go on, there is nothing I can do. I release control and I resume my sovereignty, that I am who I am and she will no longer affect me. And as soon as I realized that the gratitude of the lesson that could be hidden in those in that impossible situation, the situation really did change. And it was one of the
Isn't it
most,
amazing how fast it does when you
it
change
is.
your attitude? It really does.
But I was pounding it. I was pounding it, you guys. I was complaining, because that's all I could do was complain. I didn't know what else to do. And it was resistance. And the
Mhm.
minute I turned and said, you know what? There's nothing I can do here. It is what it is. And I had to let it go and understand that it had nothing to do with me. And it really, the situation changed. And
That's so
I was
fantastic.
I was set on a trajectory that could have not imagined in a million years, and the benefit and the blessings that occurred in my life were just endless after that.
Yay. That's a great example,
Mhm.
a great personal example.
It is, and this one says suffering is due entirely to clinging or resisting. It is a sign of our unwillingness to move on, to flow with life. So this is what they want us to learn. And it's not us, you and me, that you don't know. I know I'm preaching to the choir,
All of
but
us.
I'm letting you know that this is going to be more and more every day for us. It's the clinging or resisting to a situation, a person, a reality, a catastrophe, a landing, a death in the family, whatever it might be that is coming. It is going to be a challenging for us. It is going to be, it's going to test us on our faith, on our strength, on our light worker ability. And it's going to call us. It's going to call us to be the example. It's going to call us to be not clinging and not resisting, and moving to being willing to move on and go with the flow. We're going to be the example. And this is what they really, I mean, they're telling me this. I'm letting you guys know. They're telling me this. And I just want to share it with y'all because I think it's real
That's
important.
exactly what my guide it's exactly what my guides have been telling me all along as well. And I feel very fortunate that we have a community where we can talk about this and get feedback and get support from each other, because this community is just absolutely amazing. And the more that we all learn, the more that we can spread that information in the way that we act and the way we react, or the way that we accept things and move
Because
on.
the suffering is not, it's there for a moment and for a lesson, but it's not a life sentence. It really is just, they want us to be able to move on. They want us to be able to deal and see things and just keep moving forward. But okay, let's see. This is a cute one. Those who judge will never understand, and those who understand will never judge.
Right.
Nice.
It's really important for us to understand, to see the big picture, to accept what is because of a certain reason, not because they want to make our lives a holy hell. They don't want to, it's not, it's because there is something bigger in store for us. There's something greater for us to learn and to move through this, and something for us to be made example of being. I'm just referring back to the person who was a thorn in my side
You were
when
working.
I was, yeah. So this one is a higher consciousness hack. Doesn't everybody want a good hack, right? And it says,
Absolutely.
Instead of
Limited.
ins- instead of viewing others as bad or wrong or evil, right? Accept that. Simply view them as limited. Their level of consciousness limits them to unpalpable behaviors, and they simply cannot do better considering their current level of understanding and awareness. This is so important because we're going to
It
be
is.
seeing people act a particular way that is just inconceivable to anybody that has a beating heart and breathing on this earth, and they're behaving like that. It's really important for us to have this perspective. It's not bad, wrong, or evil. It's that they're limited. They're on a different journey. They're at a different place on their understanding and awareness.
Mhm.
And this is just a subtle suggestion. They are not bad. They are simply limited. This is a small shift in perspective that allows you greater peace, greater compassion, forgiveness, and grace. And this is what the vibration that they need us to hold. It's about vibration. They're going to want to knock down the vibrations. We're not going to let them knock down the vibrations. We are light workers. We are here to vibrate at this frequency, and nothing's going to knock us off that frequency. We're going to need to accept it. We're going to need to have perspective and move back up to that greater peace, greater compassion, forgiveness, and grace. We're going to stay at this frequency, you guys. I'm going to stay there, and I need you all to be there with me.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm
admitting that they can't do anything more is like saying out of sight, out of mind, or he really loves who he's with at the time. He really thinks he loves them. He's a philanderer, but he really thinks he loves that person at a time. You know, that he's not capable. So he's limited.
Yep. Remember, the higher you move in consciousness, the less fault you find in others. It's
Right.
really, really big, you guys.
That's a big one. This hack is big.
Yeah, it's a great
Because
one.
if you look at people as even evil or bad anymore, I just don't. It's just they're on a different frequency, and we don't jive, and that's all
They're
there is.
doing the best that they can with what they have.
Exactly. And you have to have compassion for them and for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's a family member, even if it's
Yeah.
somebody that you loved your whole life, they're going to be behaving and doing things that are just inconceivable. Okay, so the way you alchemize a soulless world is into a sacred world is by treating everyone as if they are sacred until the sacred in them remembers.
Oh, I love that. Because we all are sacred. We're all that fractal from source. We're all God. And we
right.
are all sacred. And
Because
I'd
we're
like
all
to have that
one.
on my mirror.
Yeah, we are all one.
Hmm. Yeah, I like this one.
Yeah, it needs no
Beautiful.
explanation. So this one is a smooth sea never made a skilled sailor,
That's a good one too.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you never learn anything if you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
If you don't have any challenge in your life, you never learn a thing, do you?
Nope.
So this evolution for humanity is really calling upon us. They're going to give us this not smooth sea so that we become the skilled light worker, the skilled, humanity that is at a higher frequency, that resonates at that higher frequency.
Mhm.
It's these rough seas that are going to make us the strongest, the best, the highest, and not the best, not the better, best, worst, but the most that we to the most be the to the highest potential that we can be.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it's this challenge.
Well, think about it. Why did we come to Earth? To learn. How do you learn? Challenges.
Good or bad. I
Good
mean,
or
good or
bad.
bad, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why
And
we're here.
coming. It's a coming. And I know a lot of people here, I can feel you saying, I've been through it. Like you guys say, yeah, I've been there, done that, Jean. That's over with for me. And that may be true. I do understand that a lot of people are already past their acceptance journey and are living the other side of enlightenment. When you become comfortable with uncertainty, infinite possibilities open up in your life. And this is that other side of, accepting what is, not because it's right, not because you don't want it to change, but because it keeps you moving forward. And the uncertainty of what might come next or why this is all happening to us or to me is the uncertainty. And they say infinite possibilities open up in your life. After I left that job where that woman made me complain for like 2 years, it felt like I was just complaining. After I stopped complaining and I resigned to the fact that it is what it is, and I let it go, and I stopped resisting and I accepted it for what it is, then the absolute infinite possibilities that I could never imagine actually really did happen and come to fruition for me. They really did.
I believe that. Juno says it's a process. Just when you think you've got it handled or dealt with, another layer is uncovered. You have so
Exactly.
got that right. We are onions and we are being peeled layer by layer to get to the heart of things. That's so true, Juno.
They want it to become second nature for us because they need us to be here to be examples for others and become very almost like an automatic kind of thing with us that we don't even have to think
Can
about
I
it.
can I give you an example of the last one that when you surrender, spirit brings you things, puts things in your path. An example is when Heather and I were in Sedona and I yelled at spirit, okay, I surrender. I'm going to do the YouTube channel. And in 2 weeks, we met professional people that created an entire, showed us how to do it and created a studio in our house. There is no way in hell that would have happened if I hadn't said, okay, I surrender, but bring me the experts because I don't know what I'm doing. And like I said, it wasn't 2 weeks later that we actually were introduced to the people that did help us do our channel. It took several months. It took time, but I knew the minute I met them why they were there. I knew who they were and why they were there as soon as I met them. And that's just one little example.
And we
My
do
move
different things.
right now, I have surrendered to Source wanting me to move. So I've had an estate sale this weekend. I'm in a hotel. Next week, I'm in my house. I go back to my house tonight, and it goes on the market in the next week or two. And houses sell really fast down here, so I figure I'll be in Colorado in another month. But I have no idea where I'm going or what I'm doing, only vaguely. I'm just letting spirit lead me to wherever they're taking me. So stay tuned and watch this space. In a year, who knows where I'll be.
Right. And they're doing it
But
to you
it's
step by
truly
step.
giving it up to spirit. It's truly releasing what resistance I was having and letting spirit lead me wherever it is I'm going. And I'll tell you when I know.
If I can do it, you can do it. We're not any just because we're up here on the YouTube and our faces are up here doesn't mean anybody who's watching is not ever able or has not ever experienced the same exact
Right.
thing. We're all this is a birthright. This is all available to all of us, and it is only sort of setting aside what our conditioning was and allowing these universal truths, these universal laws to come in and activate within us. But there's this urgency about this, acceptance because a lot of people get that analysis paralysis, and rightfully so. I mean, these things are jarring, man. They really knock you off your seat sometimes. But moving through that, and the quicker we can, and the more mundane things we can, the unimportant things we can, like, if the sound goes out on the show, the more we can accept it and say, okay, instead of saying, no, that can't be, it's just
do you remember when we first started how nervous we'd be that if anything went wrong, it was just like the world was crashing in on us. And now it's like, I have people will understand. They'll be there with us. They'll be okay. We'll figure this out. But
Yeah,
in the
one of you
beginning,
will get
it
it
was
so it
absolute.
doesn't freeze up.
Yeah, in the beginning, it was terrorizing. We were terrified, but now we're like, yeah, whatever.
Oh, yeah. I be back. We be
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else has been getting downloads about acceptance and about especially that little hack. It's really, I mean, those I I like to show these inspiring sort of graphics and visuals so that you guys can maybe go back and take a look at them, maybe turn down the sound and read them and see how that resonates with you, see which one helps to bring you clarity, or give you a new perspective that you hadn't considered before.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you finish them? Do you have more? I think you had
Yeah,
some more.
no, I think we're done. I think we're
Oh,
done.
okay.
There's yeah.
Yeah, I was always taught, and it helps a great deal when you think in terms, for me anyway, when you think in terms they're doing the best they can with what they have at the moment. Maybe 10 years down the road, they may do something different, but they're here right now.
I
And
think you really
so,
have to remember that about yourself and mistakes you may have made in your childhood or your youth, because I certainly did things that I'm not proud of. And my husband was the one that actually said that you did the best you could with the information you had at the time. And
mhm,
that's what our parents did. They didn't
yep.
mean to hurt us or screw us up like most parents have. We all have
Yeah,
issues from our
and
childhood, but
I
they were
thought,
doing the best they knew how, and you have to learn to let it be what it is. And for me, it was forgiveness. And once I became a parent, it became very easy to forgive any mistakes my parents made.
oh yeah, I mean, even after my kids were grown and out, I'm going, I should have done this. I never should have done that. Never done. And then I thought about it for a while. And I thought, well, if I had made those mistakes, I'd have made other mistakes.
Others.
I guess I just did the best I could.
Yeah. So for any of you out there, you have to remember about yourself as a parent or your parents, your friends. Everybody's out there doing the best they know how. And if it doesn't jive with you, well, you can move on
Yeah.
or see what other alternatives there are.
Yeah, we don't want to get into that analysis paralysis or that inability to that disbelief and not being able to move through or move forward. So
Laurie
Laurie
says, yes.
says,
Go ahead.
that was hard for me to believe and accept. I found complete peace of mind in believing that we are all doing the best we can. Thanks for the reminder. Mhm.
Yeah. And thanks for the reminder about make sure that you include yourself when you're saying that.
Absolutely. Juno says, when none of your possible choices are bad, it's hard to make a good choice. Put things in. Yeah, that's true
Think with
too.
your heart.
And it takes practice to release with ease. It's cumulative. So any shift of focus in that direction makes you stronger. Baby steps.
It's
That's exactly right.
Practice makes perfect.
That's why they're asking us to practice with these little unimportant, mundane kind of things. Um, yeah, that come up, and to move through things and to get into that routine, almost like you're used to it, so that you can recognize it and act on it, so that your frequency doesn't shift too far away from the frequency that you hold. We all get knocked off of our
Yeah.
center, but it's that muscle of how we come back, how fast we come back, and stay firm in our frequency and our
Mhm.
center is really what they want to encourage us to do. And I'm hearing these messages loud and clear, and they're talking to humanity. They're not just, well, they're talking to me, but I'm sure what I understand is that things are coming up for me that they want me to be aware of and practice this for. But they also are talking about all of
All of
humanity.
us.
There's mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We need to all practice that. And I thought I was doing pretty well till a teenager moved into my home. And I found that there are things that I definitely get triggered by and am having to work on. And I'm sure that's one of the reasons that she's here is because these are things that I need to work on. It's amazing when you think that you have your
Exactly.
shit together a bit and all of a sudden trigger, trigger, trigger comes, you know, like, maybe I ain't so good all as I thought. Maybe I hadn't figured this one out. So even though you think you got it figured out, they'll test you with something else until you get
Yeah.
it.
You're an onion. You're right. You're an onion. We all are onions.
Yeah. Let's see what she says here. When I become more comfortable at a new frequency, it takes me a little time to integrate it and then enjoy it. This is a plateau to the next raise in frequency. I found that to be true too, Juno.
Mhm.
What about you, Jean?
Um, they want us to, they're asking us to hold the frequency of the light work or of the vibration where that is our highest potential and that is able to lead humanity in the evolution. And the stronger that we can be as a unit, as a I think there's several million of us that are light workers that hold this awareness frequency and vibration that it's we need to be there so that the others can look to us and almost match our, you know how I was talking, it's not a coincidence that I was just talking about Sherry trancing with spirit coming on and helping me to raise up my game because she has such a high frequency and vibration that she's working on, and it raises my game, and together we are better. So when let's say I don't know, let's just say I don't want to scare anybody, but let's just say, uh, what can I? Um,
What are you trying to say?
let's just say there is an island called Dolphin Island, and Dolphin Island is where everybody went every year, and everybody loves it. And one day, Dolphin Island went under the water and was no longer there, and people were in such disbelief and could not accept that this Dolphin Island could just disappear. And there are people that are going to be stuck there and not believing it and not being able to move forward. But we will all be able to accept, move through, and continue that frequency. And the others will be like, okay, all right, I see them accepting it. It's time for me to go and accept it. And we're going to be, by us being able to accept it, and we're going to bring the masses or the community with us to come forward as well. So they're calling on us.
I love
So what
that.
did Val say?
Yes, they're asking us to hold the awareness frequency and stabilize it in Mother Earth. Thank you, Val. You're right.
That's exactly
Yeah,
it.
and I think when you can work with somebody, you have to remember that you're kind of close together, but she's a little higher than you, but she's probably working with somebody else even higher. And you're working with somebody a little lower who's trying to bring themselves up. So it's just symbiotic relationships helping everybody.
Yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
example. It's a good example.
Yeah. As you raise your vibration, you raise the vibration around you.
Mm-hmm.
As
Exactly.
you turn on a dime, bring have acceptance, practice acceptance, and move forward, move through, and see what's on the other side of it. Other people will too, and it's tough. It's tough to be the first ones. It's just tough to be the front runners. It's tough to be the one that other people. And I'm not talking from ego here, you guys. I am not perfect. There is nobody does anything 100%. I'm not saying that I have all the answers. I'm just saying that this is what they're telling me to be prepared for personally, and I have been really motivated and passionately inspired to share it. Mhm.
And remember, we're all
And they
helping
want you to.
somebody one person at a time.
Illumination Portal says, yes, it's a never ending ascension.
Exactly.
Mhm.
That's exactly right. Because that's where we're all ascending all the time. No matter how many lifetimes, it's all about the ascension. But this, in particular, we're all here to help each other ascend in a much faster manner.
Right.
And there's
My
no
opinion.
comparison. There's no comparison. We all are where we all are. And there is, we need all of us in all of our different frequencies and all of our different capacities. We need, what in whatever way we show up, that's where we're needed. That's where we're called to be on.
Exactly. And we're all different, and I love it. And we all attract different energies and help different people in different ways because
We all have different experiences to help relate.
that too, for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see, have
It's
any-
I feel better. I do. I feel better. I felt like it was something that I needed to share and I needed to express the messages that were coming through to me. And like I said, they very well could be talking to me personally, and they probably are. But on a whole, it's important for me to share what I learn.
And that my messages appear to be for me, but the messages that I receive, they're definitely directed to me, but they're also directed for me to share and with the planet. And that's why we all have these channels, is because we're sharing that. If nothing else gets through, the unconditional love and the non-judgment that we have for the people of this planet and for Mother Earth is beamed through every time we have a show. Where that energy of unconditional love is being beamed out to all those people that are watching and to the planet, because we're sending out that unconditional energy of love. And so we're making a difference whether we even understand that or not. And that goes for each and every one of you in the chat. What you're exuding in that chat room, what you're exuding around you, is that unconditional love for humanity and the planet. So just remember that when you're out there. You're sharing whether you know it or not.
And the reason why anybody starts a channel is sharing and being supportive. Sharing.
Okay. Yes.
And being supportive to everybody.
Yep. Laurie says, you are speaking for me also, Jean. Just listening has released a tension I was holding in my spine. I had no idea I had that much stress down my spine until now. Oh, that's great.
Glad it's gone.
Yeah, glad it's gone.
Yeah, and I think I know what you're talking about as far as the tension. And I have a feeling that's probably some of the atmosphere around here, because I too have had tension in my spine where I've had to wear my back brace more often than I usually do.
I wonder what that's about.
I think it's just all the chaotic vibrations and beating on you. And if you've got a weak spot, it's going to hit that.
That makes sense. Wow, Jean, what a great conversation today.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate that. How's everybody in the chat? Illumination Portals, thank you all for sharing your Crone wisdom. Majestic Oracle says, me too, Heather. She says he's been holding tension.
Yeah. And you don't even know you're doing it. You just know that you have to go get whatever it was that relieves it. Whatever.
Well, I tell you, the tension I had of packing up my house for a month, sorting and packing up the house. I slept for 3 days when I got in this hotel. I didn't do anything but sleep. I slept through the night. Who sleeps through the night on a hotel bed? But these beds are actually comfortable, and I have slept like a log every single night. But the first 3 days, all I did was release that tension through sleep, because I had just been so busy for so long that it got released finally. And I feel wonderful.
Yeah, I was looking at these comments and saying they feel better now than they did when the show started. Well, evidently, we have all started to accept certain things. And so the stress that we've been living with is releasing and helping. And that's a community effort. And for that, I thank you all.
It's very true. Our community is beautiful.
Yes.
Love this community. Okay, it's almost time to go. But Jean, can you tell us one more time what you're up to this week?
Oh my. Do we have time? No.
Yes,
Tonight
we
after the show, I will be with Sherry from Trancing with Spirit will be on my show, and we're going to be doing readings. She'll be doing the Akashic Record readings, and we're going to be doing the mediumship and psychic readings and just answering questions. It'll be lots of fun. And then tomorrow I have Ginger Faye, and we're going to be doing our 4th installment of the Dragons show, and we're going to be doing readings on the dragons, messages from your dragons, meeting your dragon, seeing which dragon might be for you if you hadn't met your dragon, and just a lot more interaction and having a lot of fun, because it's also St. Patty's Day. I think I'm going to be on with Sherry and Amy are having a little celebration. I'm going to dip in there right before I go on with Ginger. And there's a big celebration going on, and it's important to let those all those troubles of the world, all those responsibilities of your life will be there after the celebration is over. So set those things aside, put those things down, and come together and have a fun celebration. Lift your spirits. It's really important to have that balance, and Monday morning, pick them back up again, and you'll have that responsibility. They won't go anywhere.
They don't disappear.
Yeah. And I have a full week next week too. So just make sure you come over and subscribe to Sun Psychic Jean if you haven't already. And keep on the lookout for all of the notifications that are going to be coming out in the next couple of days.
I just got one for you and Sherry. It just popped up on my iPad. I love that. Yeah. Heather, what are we doing? Words Matter on Tuesday?
Right. And then who do we have the next one? We have Valerie.
We have Terry.
And
Terry is coming next weekend for Terry's Tale. She says she has a bunch.
Don't we have Valerie also for the?
We do. We have Valerie on Sunday, I believe.
Yeah.
Is it what, full moon? Is it a full moon? Yeah.
Yes.
I get confused.
I forgot. I was looking up what you had sent, and that's what we're doing the following Tuesday.
Fantastic.
So
that's the same as this show. We're going to do about acceptance. We're going to do a show on acceptance after you decided this show. We thought that we probably needed to dig a little deeper than what we're doing today.
We need to keep talking about it, keep reviewing it, keep unpacking it. And I really thought it was important to kind of review what it was not, because that's what a lot of people are like, oh, I can't accept that because I don't want it. And it was important to review that. So if you missed the beginning, we were talking about what acceptance was not, how it's sometimes confused with other things.
Mm-hmm.
So if you didn't come in at the beginning, you might want to just flip back and watch the earlier, the beginning of the beginning. Anyway, thank you so much for being here, Jean and Heather, and all of you in the chat. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and go out and love yourself and spread that unconditional love to the planet and everybody on it. All children of Mother Earth.
Including yourself.
And we will see you next time. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.